Hey folks, welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 25th of April 2019. My apologies for not doing these for a couple of weeks. I've been up to my eyeballs finishing up the new Pipnotic website. But now it's running and everything is sweet, and I hope that your experience of the website will be much better. I think it's really good, it's really clean, and I think the user experience will be much nicer. So have a look at that. So log onto your account, and if you go to the Academy and then scroll on halfway, press the premium button, then you'll come into a page, and at the top of the page there's a video, and if you have a look at that, then I think you'll be up to speed in no time. Good, let's get to trading. It's been a while since I've had a look at the charts in the symposium, so let's have a look. I've got a few things I'm looking at now. We're just going to run through those one at a time. Okay, so what am I looking at here? What I like to do is let me remove this. I like to see multiple time frames at the same time. So essentially I want to know what's going on the larger time frames, and for this I'm going to use the daily. Then I have a short-term time frame which is related to the trend. Then I have my entry time frame, which is the 1 hour chart. Okay, so let's start on the higher time frame. So we want to ask ourselves, in what direction is price moving? You can see that price is moving higher. You can see we're just wriggling higher. If we go to the weekly chart and have a look, you can see that we're approaching this weekly supply with nested daily supply. Interest rate swaps are negative, so for the dollar Turkish lira you want to be short to earn on the overnight swaps. But you can see very clearly that we were racing higher, and then we poked into something here. Then we had a huge gap low. What does that mean? That means there was absolutely nobody looking to buy at these prices here. Price had to come all the way back down here, which is where we have our entry, in order to buy. Okay, actually they went all the way down here, so this is showing some enormous rejection up here. So there are governments getting involved in this here. So I'm at the Green School today, and there's a ton of stuff going on here, so you'll probably hear noise, dogs, tools, chickens and stuff in the background. For that I apologize. Right, so if we have a look at this, you can see that yes, price is moving higher and we're approaching supply. What does that mean? Well, that means we want to be looking for somewhere to sell. Okay, look on our medium term. We have a look here, you can see, well, our trend line is moving higher. And how do we do trend lines? Well, let me draw that very quickly. We're looking for price to be doing this, and so we have a low, we have a second low, and when price left the second low we moved above the high, so we connect the two like so. In a downward trend we have a high, we have another high that's lower, we have a high. When price left the second high, the most recent high, it moved below the most recent swing low. So then we connect these two. Okay, and the software is doing that for us automatically. You can see that we have a low, price moved higher, another one, and price is wriggling higher. And so we're approaching, you see we're feeding into this. This is a daily area of supply there. And so on this time frame, we want to be buying. But I'm expecting, if you consider this just for a second, you have a look at the depth of this curve. What does that mean? Well, that means how far into this move have we retraced. And if we, just for the sake of example, use fibs, there it is, just to look, you can see that the 38% is where price is, and now it's moving up. So we're going to be deeper than the 38% on this particular price structure, which is pretty low. I like normally to go to the 50% at least, which will bring us up to here. But we'll have a look at that. Maybe we'll adjust our entry. We'll have to wait and look and see. So we have that, and so price is wriggling higher. So for the time being, there's no need to sell now until we get higher. Okay, so we can continue to buy for the time being. Where would interesting places to buy be? Well, we have this here, which I like. This is nice. This is nice because just a nice push higher. I mean, we had this area of accumulation which took out the highs here, and this high here. So this is an important area here. Okay, so we could look to buy at this area here, shorter term, but price needs to come down here and test this before we come up here, because if price comes up here and then returns to here, then this will probably not hold. Why? Because the major flows would have entered the market higher, which will likely overwhelm this this little pool of liquidity below price. Okay, so keep that in mind. Good. So if you have a look on the hourly chart, what do we have? You can see that price is kind of wriggling. And if you have a look at the angle of these moves, let's look. You can see price is doing this. You can see that we have, you see the angle of this here is less than the angle of this. What does that mean? That means that the weakness is growing as we move higher, and then these ones you can see that price cannot even continue to push, so we're having a lot of these run out of steam, push, run out of steam, push, run out of steam. Okay, so this is a sign of exhaustion. Okay, so we had a nice push, a shallow retracement, nice push, deeper retracement, and then we have these smaller pushes. And so here we have kind of like 1 high, 2 high, 3 high. So there's probably divergence going on the currency strength histogram here. And we're approaching a nice area of supply. So that looks pretty good. So if we have a look at where we want to sell, we want to sell above price, and there's nothing to sell. If you look at this here, there's nowhere to sell. So what we need to do, like we normally do, is you mark off the high, and then we begin to scroll back and see, and we continue to move that line higher. You can see it's just here, it's right here, and now you want to find an area, so like the beginning of the sell zone. If you look here, I mean price came here and we rejected, there's nothing here. You want to look for the most recent kind of pullback, and we have that here. Price came down, up, down, moved sideways, down, price came back, and then it left. Okay, so price has already been back to this level. Where has it not been back to? It has not been back to this one. So this is the next one. So we'll take the first test here. Okay, depending on the rejection over here, if price manages to do something like this and then dump, well then we will take it on the next one. But if price comes up to the level and kind of just has like a minor retracement, well then we won't take it on the next one. Alright, so keep that in mind. It's also how price reacts to these levels that is very important to us. Good. So I'm looking at this one here. Let's see. I mean, price came up the first time. We had a really nice kind of push, nice sell-off. You can see, boom. So we'll have a look. We'll have a look and see what happens. And now this is set to expire at the end of the day. I don't like to trade. I don't like to have my intraday trades open overnight anymore. So I've stopped doing that. Cool. So let's have a look. The next one, we have the pound Singaporean dollar. What am I looking at? Well, you can see if we have a look at the big time frame, what's the price doing? Well, price is actually, we had this high. Sorry, let's draw this, make this clear. High, low, high, low, high. Okay, so price has fed into this, the edge, the beginning of the sell zone, which is where, I'll show you where it is. It's right here. Why there? Because from the area, price left, price pulled back to the edge of the area. Where is it? It's actually there. So this is where you look to sell. This is the cheapest price that you want to sell at. Okay? So you don't look at this. This is not interesting because price has already been back to this level here. And price comes up to it, we go a little bit deeper, there's probably something in here that's interesting, then price retrace from there. Okay, so price is fed into this area here, which is also well into the lower end of this this candle here, and then we've moved away. Okay, and you can if you look here, I mean, price went up, it went down, and it started down here, so it gapped down, it went all the way up, and then it came down, and then we saw a lot of movements lower. And so essentially you want to be looking for a decent place to sell, and this is longer term. So I mean longer term, that means that you could use this line. I mean you could sell here, here, and here, and here. Okay, This is on the weekly chart, but we're on the daily chart, and so you can play all of these little ones on the smaller time frames, okay? But this is too low, I don't like that, but I like, this is kind of more of a swing. This is just a candle. And so on the smaller time frame, you'll see that a little bit clearer, how we have kind of price came down, came up, and then went down. See, so we had this little area, we had kind of a bearish engulfing, and this is kind of the beginning of the sell zone. How do you know? Because the wicks are pointing to it. So this is just a little bit above that. So let's have a look there. So that's what I'm looking at there. So this is messy, obviously. I mean, price reacted to this 4-hour demand. By the way, how bloody amazing is the software? I mean, look at this. I mean, price raced up, tested, tested, tested. It came back to it, and it came right down to it, to the pip. And this is where we saw the reaction. Amazing. It continues to amaze me to this day. Okay, so we have that. So let's look at the trend on the smaller time frame, the medium term. You can see we're kind of drifting lower. How we have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. So price has kind of formed this base, this 4-hour demand. Price has reacted, and let's see what happens after that. But I don't want to get involved in this until we kind of move above here, because you can see how price came up, we came back, we tested, rejected, tested, rejected. It went a little bit deeper, rejected. So we don't want to be selling for a price any cheaper than the deepest pullback since the release, which is here. You can see here our entry is above that. Okay, so we'll leave that in there. And if we have a look on the hourly chart, well, look at that. That's just a beautiful continuation pattern. Let's mark that off. You can see it right there. Just there. It's beautiful. Nice release. Price did not come back to the area, so this is fresh. We tested the lows of this wick here, and then price retraced. So there's enough liquidity in this little pool here to cap price. But let's see what happens when price gets there. Cool. Let's have a look at this one. This is the Swiss franc Japanese yen. What do we have going on here? Big picture. What's going on in the big picture? This is most important. Okay, what are we doing? What's going on here? We have to look at the most recent swing. You have to go to let's go to the monthly. You see how price came down, it went up, and now it moved down. We had a rejection where? At demand. Right there. Price poked into it, to the pip, and now we're reacting. What does that mean? Well, that means that price will eventually probably drift a little bit higher. Okay, but we might have a bit of a pullback, but I'm hoping that we'll have a pullback high before we have a continuation lower. So we have that on this time frame. On the weekly, what do we have? We have price came down, it moved up, we came down, we rejected, we moved sideways, now we left. Now I'm expecting a pullback and then a move lower on the daily chart. Let's have a look. We have that whole thing, higher price wriggling around, and then this area here has now been gone. Which area did it? This here. So this is probably going to see a reaction. I don't even know if price is going to get through the 110.20, but above that there's an even better price. Okay, so let's go to the 4-hour chart and have a look. I mean, what is this? If you look here, you can see that we have a parent and a micro child. I mean, price came down sideways, went down, pull back, and then down, push away. Okay, and so this is the absolute beginning of the sell zone. You might even move it high like that. Or if you want to get super kind of anal about it, if you want, you can have a closer look at this. We'll go on the 1-hour chart and have a look. And if you look at this, you can see, wow, this is actually really messy, isn't it? There's nothing really pretty to say about that. What we do have is we have something that's a little bit more interesting just above, just here. Okay, the price will very likely react here. It'll probably go to where the target is here. And then move a little bit lower, but just keep around that. Mark these off on your charts and see what happens. I mean, look here. I mean, we had the hourly demand tested once, twice. It held. Hourly continuation pattern demand tested once. It's crazy how these levels hold. You could almost trade them blindly, but don't. Right. Let's have a look here. We have the dollar Japanese yen. Zoom out a bit there. What's going on? Let me clear this off. Default. What's going on? Oh, I missed my entry. This is in, and it's kind of waiting for this to do something. This was put in. When was this put in? The times at 4. It was put in a few hours ago. Because I mean, just look at the way when price left, it came back. It came to this price level, then it rejected. So the beginning of the sell zone is there. Let's have a look here. And our entry is higher than that at this little continuation pattern. This is a pretty wicked continuation pattern, but I'll be in front of the charts when it gets there, so I'll be able to manage it. But you can see price went a little bit deeper. There's no reason to sell yet. I've got to wait for price to come to you. And here it is. And you can see the bottoms of these candles here. Let's go like this, and you can see in the bottles of these wicks here. And they're around here. If you look at this, you see here, close, 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 close. So this is a pretty good area here as well. You put it around there. That's pretty interesting. So wait and see. So we've got that in there. That's what I'm expecting price. So you don't really need to go to the smaller time frames even, but we can do so. If we have a look, you can see here that, I mean, here we had the big release. Where did price have to go to find that release? To this price level here. Alright. Cool. So that's what we have. There. Let's go on here. What do we have here? This is the pound Canadian dollar. There's some big news out of the US yesterday relating to crude reserves. They had more reserves than expected. What does that mean? Well, if they have reserves, they don't have to buy any. So that is that affects the price of oil and the price of the American dollar and the Canadian dollar as well. Okay, so you have to kind of keep this stuff in mind, just for a kind of a longer term bias. But if you look at this, see how, I mean, how price it's kind of come up here. Let's go to the big time frame. Where did it go to? Went to the edge of the sell zone, which is here. See, edge of the sell zone. Supply, attempt to move into it, fail. Attempt to move deeper, fail. Okay, so price is now, I'm hoping for a small reaction in this area here. Go to the smaller time frame, you have a look at that. You see price came down, we moved. This is interesting. This is interesting. Price tried, rejected, we tried, we rejected, we tried, rejected. So the most recent rejection, oops, sorry, is here on this really nice area here. Look at that, that's beautiful. That was a very nice area. If we look for this one here, price has come back to here. Okay, so this is the beginning of the sell zone for this price structure. So we're expecting price to maybe have a bit of a bounce from around this area here. On the 1 hour chart, let's have a look. And I can see I've taken the wicks here. You know what? I'll move it up like that. I don't mind missing a trade if I can get a bit of price. So you got that there. It looks okay. So we'll wait and see. We had some really big resistance there. Price dumped down. So if price manages to move above here and maybe poke into this 4 hour with a nested 1 hour, I think we'll certainly have enough time to get a trade on there. Cool. Let's have a look at this next one, the Euro Swedish krona. Now I'm not going to trade all of these. A lot of these orders are going to expire, and that's also a lot of orders I have on. I just want I want to go through a bunch of different pairs just to give you an idea of the thinking process behind it. So if we have a look at this, what's price doing? We had a high, we had a low, we had a low, a high, and now price has formed a higher low. So price is kind of doing something like this. Okay, so price is doing a bit of a squeeze. So what's it going to do? No idea. But we can see that. And then go this way or this way. We don't know yet. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of squeezing itself into the corner there. We have this little area here which I think is interesting. If we have a look on the 4-hour chart, you can see that we have this really nice kind of U shape. The depth of the curve for this. First of all, the depth of the curve for this. I mean, where is that located? If we look at this one here, we're at the 62, which is great. So you go here, you have a look. What's the trend? The trend is up. The depth of the curve for this one here, the curve starts here and it goes down to here. See, and this is also about 62, as you can see, which is great. A little bit deeper, and most importantly, look at departure. So this price came down, went up sideways, it went down, it poked higher, and then it left. Price has been back to this level, which is testing now, but it has not been back to this level here. So this is where we expect price to have a bounce. Okay, we go on the 1-hour chart and have a closer look. You can just see it here pretty nicely. So this is the area. Sell off, a distribution of liquidity, a push lower, a test, and then a dump. Okay, so we have this little area here. It looks pretty interesting, but I want my stop above this because we have something else going here. We have a accumulation of orders to move to push price lower. Continuation pattern after that. This shows strength here. Supply. Price came back to the first supply. Maybe we'll have a test there, but we'll certainly have a bounce at one of these two levels here. Super good. Right, let's keep going. Dollar franc. Let's have a look here. What's going on? Where are we? You need a bigger time frame. Well, if we have a look at how far price has gone, this is the 88% retracement, the entry. Price is almost there. I mean, it's really close. It's really close. If we zoom out, if we focus on how far price has gotten, and we scroll back, it's gotten here, and just above that we have this. Okay, let's go have a look. Move that up there. Go over here. Let's have a look, see what it looks like on the small time frame. Oh yeah, that looks really amazing. I mean, look at that. Huge wick. Boom. Tell you what, there are going to be people looking to sell there. There are going to be people looking to sell here, okay? And this is like an arrow. This is a huge sign in the road saying sell right here. Okay, and we're very close to it. We're very close to it. How far is that? Let's look. 50 pips away, that's nothing. I mean, what's the range on this pair? The range on this pair is 50 pips. I mean, that's good. That could happen today. So I'm going to redo this position and give myself some protection and go from the high to here. I'm going to go on the smaller time frame, 1 hour, to have a closer look. I mean, this looks fine. I'm going to go like this, a little bit above. I like that. This is beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to go to back to the 4-hour chart and put that on, if I can. I'll risk a 0.1% on that position. Sell at 102.51. Boom. Alright, you've got the stop. Target. Let's do 1 to 3 initially, and then what I normally do is I'll let price feed into it, figure out what it's going to do, and depending on the rejection, well then I'll adjust, because I mean we don't have demand. We've got something here. fresh demand there. We've got something there, which is nice. Okay, so we have like a few things that we could have a look at, but they're pretty far away from price. I mean, look at it. This is the distance from this supply to this demand is like a 1 to 4. Okay, so that's a really nice risk reward there. Cool. Let's have a look at this one. Dollar franc. Didn't I already do that? That's it. That's done. Perfect. Cool. I want to show a couple of trades that I've done these past days. You can see most of them expire or like close out. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Have a look at this one here. This is an interesting trade. And the trade is right here. Okay, it's right here. Sold here, and I got out here. I mean, why there? If you look, we focus. You know what? I'm going to do the whole thing, the whole process. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, well, you can see the price left here, and we're coming down. And so we're getting pretty close to a push lower. Okay, because price is like retraced, and so price was here. I was thinking, yeah, I mean, I'll look to get like a small trade on at around the level in here, because if we use Fibonacci, we were just that we were between the 38 and the 50. So I thought, yeah, a small intraday trade. This is not going to go on forever because it's not deep enough. And so I was thinking, if I'm in front of the computer to manage it, that I can have a look there, which is what I did. So I said, yeah, so I'll look to sell. Okay. Come on. So if you go here, let's go here because we have the position. If you go here, I saw this and I was saying, I saw this. This is like a really nice kind of U form. Okay, so I was on the small time frame, marked it off. Where are we from here to here? Okay, so I think price was around here when I put the order on. I don't remember exactly when I put the order on, but it was here and it was moving higher. I thought, cool, past the 76, the 88, and notice, and I'm going to remove this, and notice if we zoom in, notice. People say, yeah, we have this, looks good. But what is this? What's this? This is actually a child and the parents there, so instead I went like this. I put my stop 2 times that, and that's where I sold, and I did like a 1-to-1 add on that one there, and I left a slither in and that got stopped out at break even. So yeah, let's see, find another one. See, most of them are closed out or expired. Here we have a couple of example trades. Okay, so where was it? I bought here. Got out. Yeah, okay, so I bought here. You think, wow, that's magic. It's not magic at all. It's not magic at all. If you look on the bigger time frame, the daily, what's going on? We're getting pretty low. Okay, we're getting pretty low, and we're feeding into this. So I thought, okay, we have demand. Price had retraced to the demand. I expected price to turn around and go higher. Did it do it? No, it didn't. But that's all right, because price moved far enough to get a bit of a bounce from it. And I'll show you what I was looking at. At the time, price was up here. Okay, and I saw this. So I saw this nice. I mean, see how we have a low, high, high, low. Price had moved higher. The origin of this move was here. The deepest retracement was here. So this is my entry was right here. And my stop was, where was my stop? Just below. So if we put the entry there, and the stop was right there. And the stop was pretty small. Okay, and the target was here. It didn't get reached. Where is the target? If I can, here. So all I did is I took like a small one off just in this area here at the top of the child, parent child. Okay, so we expect price to bounce at the parent. And I did just before the parent. Just a small one there. Let's have a look. Here's another one. What's this? This is the Euro Japanese yen. Another baby. Lots of these. I do a lot of like tiny trades for practice as well. It's really good practice to get used to putting these trades on. And if it's not the right time or something is in the way, then it's just a really good idea to practice. But what I saw is I saw this. Go to the big time frame. Let's go to the daily. You could see that in price, we had this low, price came up, we returned to the low, we had this lower high, and price came back here, and so I was expecting price to react at this little area here, okay, or the lows at least. We have a parent, child, so roughly the low of the child, or in the wick of the child. We go here and we have a look. I can't really see it here. Let's go here first. And so if we, and so I was, yeah, sorry, that was down here. This is maybe this is the child. I can't remember. It's like confusing jumping from time frames. But you can see we had a really nice push higher. Price came down. We had some highs here, and then we had this really nice continuation pattern just at the tip right here. Okay, and so I said, cool, we'll have a bounce. Price poked in there. Here I got out a 1-to-1. Price bounced, and it hit the target. So I closed it out almost instantly. I can't remember. I remember I had to leave my computer. So I don't like leaving stuff like this open. There's another little one. Look at that. Look at the drawdown. There's almost nothing. First bounced, good sign. Another one a little bit deeper. And price comes back up. We didn't get in even close to the target I had. Yes, that one worked out like that. Very, very interesting. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, so we're here. Okay, so this is the first half. The first half of it, and the other one was the second half. So we got one here. Yeah, so the same. This is essentially the same trade. Okay, move on. So we have here. So we had this one here. Price poked into this just here. So we have to find out why did price do that. What was I thinking? So you have to mark that off. That was a stop. And so I was looking, I don't know why on earth I did that, but looking at this, you can see that we had, first of all, you have to ask yourself the question, this is a really nice rejection. We have demand here. Okay. Price bounced. So parent. This is child. So I was assuming that the child would be interesting. This was based on the rejection. Be something like that. It bounced. And let's have a look. Where's the buy? The buy was just above. The buy was just here. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe it was on a small time frame. And price came down, and by the looks of it, it was a very quick trade. Maybe it was a currency strength trade, I don't know, but anyway, it turned out like that. So a very small trade. Price went down to the parent. This is where we saw the reaction. Parents are more reliable than kids, says the parent. Right, I'll do one more, and then I'll wrap it up. So we sold here. Why did I sell there? Let's put a line here. We'll zoom out a bit, go to the daily. Sold here. Why? Okay, now it makes sense. So we had price come low, high. We had a bunch of swings. Let me draw these off for you. like this. Okay, I want to be selling at least this level here. Price had already come to that level by the time I looked. The next one was here, so this is where I looked to sell. So if we mark that off, you can see this is actually the beginning of the sell zone for this area here, which is not a pretty area. You can see that we had a lot of trading in the zone there, but that was the logic behind it. Let's mark that off here. Let's move it like that, and then we'll have a look on the smaller time frame. 4 hour. Okay, so this is what I was looking at. I wanted to sell there. If I were to, that's right, I remember looking at this thinking, I could put it there, but then I thought it was too deep into the body of here, and if I'd have put it there I would have missed a trade. You see, just by a couple of pips. That was beautiful. It was very, very quick. It was done in seconds almost. Well, minutes. Hours. Price came up, and we had rejection, and then I closed it out. So this was Euro Kiwi. We have another one here, Euro Pound, that looks like a stop, a break-even stop. We'll do one more, just one more, because these are quite fun. So I sold here. I mean, why did I sell here? If you look at this, I mean, I shouldn't be selling there. Why? Because the trend is up. Does that mean you can't? No, it doesn't. It just means you have to be more aggressive with your trade management. You can see here, if we look at what's going on, I mean, we have a high, we have a low. So how far back did price retrace since the high to the low? You see that we were at least 62%, so we will be on that, which is good, which is very good. Let's zoom in a little bit. I have to meet my wife in 3 minutes to have lunch. So I was looking here, price came back here a little bit deeper, so this is the beginning of the sell zone, which is where I sold. Right there. I don't know where my stop went originally. Let's go to the smaller time frame. Right there. And this is like, yeah, a tiny slither here. So we had a small reaction, and then we were gone. So I was looking, my stop was here. I was looking at it like a tiny trade here. But price poked in, went a little bit deeper. We saw rejection. Now we're starting to break down. The better trade would be, we have the really nice candles here, price retraced to this area. So the better trade would have been here, because this is the beginning of the sell zone. This is like a micro pullback. This is pretty close to where price came to. Whew. Right, we'll leave it at that for now. If you have any questions or anything you want me to have a look at, let me know. I'm going to start posting some more stuff in the forum. I've just been really tied up with this website stuff. But now I'm back, and it feels good. But I hope you guys find the new website useful and cool, and if you have any feedback, I'd be thrilled to hear from you. Good. Well, that's it. I'll wrap it up for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next symposium.